Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at exponents, but in this particular case we're going to be looking at factorizing when given an exponent. So looking at our first example, you can see that we have a plus in the center here. So if you have a plus or minus sign, we know that we need to be looking to be taking out a common factor. So the first step is to write, I'll show you, we've got 2 to the power of n plus, we need to separate 2 to the power n plus 1 to 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 1 over, and here we're going to have 2 to the power of n, and we're also going to separate this as 2 to the power of negative 1. So what do we have? In our numerator, we now have our two terms, okay? And in each term here, now if we go back and we look at our algebra, if we had a plus ab and we took out a common factor of a, we'd have a, and then we'd say a times what would give me a, and it would be 1. And then we'd say a times what would give me ab, and it would be b. So it would be 1 plus b. So we treat it exactly the same. If you go and you have a look at your exponents now, your common factor here is 2 to the power of n. And so we need to have two factors here. So we've got plus, there's a plus there. So 2 to the power of n times 1 will give me 2 to the power of n. And 2 to the power of n, there's 2 to the power of n. I'm left with 2 here. So it's basically going to be 1 plus 2 in my bracket over 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of negative 1. So what do? I'm now going to cancel my 2 to the power of n with 2 to the power of n. Now we have, in my numerator, I have 1 plus 2, which would give me 3 divided by, I don't know what happened here, this 2 to the power of n disappeared, right? So it's going to be 3 divided by 2 to the power of negative 1. Now, if I have to write this differently, it would be 3 divided by 1 over 2. Now, if you said 3 divided by 1 over 2, when I divide, I basically tip in times. So it's going to be 3 times 2 over 1, and that would give me 6. So therefore, 3 divided by half is equal to 6. Okay, right, let's go and look at another example. So looking at number 2, we have our exponents separated by negative. So we are going to look for a common factor again. And we're basically just focusing on the exponents for now. So we're going to look at 5 times 2 to the power of n. That one stays the same. Then we have minus 4 times. Now we're going to separate that. We're going to write it as 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of negative 2 divided by 2 to the power of n minus 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of negative 1. So in my numerator, I'm going to look for a common factor, and I'm basically focusing on the exponents here. So I have 1, 2 terms. So my common factor here is going, and in my denominator, I also have 1, 2 terms. So we're going to look at my common factor, and my common factor is 2 to the power of n. Now we're going to say 2 to the power of n. We look at my first term, what's left? 5 minus, here I have 2 to the power of n. What am I left with? 4 times 2 to the power of negative 2 divided by, in my numerator, my common factor is 2 to the power of n, and I'm left with 1 minus 2 to the power of negative 1, because I've taken out my common factor of 2 to the power of n. So 2 to the power of n and 2 to the power of n will cancel out, and then I'm left with 5 minus 4. Now I'm going to say 4 times 1 over 2 squared. And I'm going to do that because I'm saying to myself multiplication comes first. So let's simplify that part first. So my 2 to the power negative 2 becomes 1 over 2 squared divided by, in my denominator, I'm left with 1 minus, now 2 to the power negative 1 becomes 1 over 2. Okay, so let's continue. So we're going to have 5 minus, now if I have 4 times 1 over 2 squared, that's 4 over 1. It's going to be 4 over 1 times 1 over, now 2 squared is 4, and that will cancel out and give me 1. So in my numerator, I'm basically going to have 5 minus 1 over 1 minus a half will give me a half. So I've got 5 minus 1 equal to, and I'm just going to continue here. So 5 minus 1 will give me 4 over a half, 4 divided by a half, which can be written as 4 divided by a half. Then we tip in times, so that will become 4 times 2 over 1, and my answer would be 8, and that's my final answer of 8. Okay, I've got one more to do. Let's look at number 3. Right, number 3 we have, and maybe pause the video now and see if you can do number 3 on your own. Okay, let's see if you got it correct. So here we have 3 times 2 to the power of m minus 4 times, now let's separate, that's going to be 2 to the power of m times 2 to the power of negative 2 over 2 to the power of m minus 2 to the power of m times 2 to the power of negative 1. So we look for a common factor here. We have 2 terms in my numerator and we have 2 terms in my denominator. So we look for our common factor. And our common factor in the numerator, looking at my exponents, is 2 to the power of m. I'm left with 3 in the first term minus, in the second term I'm left with 4 times 2 squared, 2 to the power negative 2, which is 1 over 2 squared, divided by my common factor here in the numerator is 2 to the power of m, and I'm left with 1 minus 2 to the power of negative 1. So we're going to 2 to the power of m will cancel out with 2 to the power of m, and you're left with 3 minus, now this is similar to the one above, and that's going to give me 3 minus 1 over 1 minus 2 to the power negative 1 is 1 minus a half, which would give me a half, and so we're left with 2 divided by a half, which would give me 2 divided by a half, and 2 divided by a half is the same as 2 times 2 over 1, which would give you an answer of 4. Okay, so we have one more. We're going to have a look at this last one. So we have 7 times 2 to the power of x. So maybe pause the video, try this one on your own. Okay, so we're going to separate them. We've got 7 times 2 to the power of x minus 3 times 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of 1 over 2 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of negative 1. So looking at my common factor in the numerator, I'm going to take out a common factor of 2 to the power of x. And here I'm going to get left with, in my first term, 7 minus, and in my second term I have 3 times 2, which I'm just going to do that, divided by, and in my denominator I have 2 to the power of x as my common factor, 1 minus 2 to the power of negative 1. So we're going to cancel. And in my numerator, I'm going to have 7 minus 6 divided by 1 minus 2 to the power of negative 1 is a half. So here you will have 1 over 1 minus a half is a half. So let's look at what we can do here. We're going to say 1 divided by a half, and that would give me 1 times 2 over 1, which would give me an answer of 2. I hope you found this video useful. Please like and subscribe and follow me on my next video.